He was very caring. He loved his family, and he loved to serve others.
Today on the Morning Edition, he loved Alaska, helping others, his family, and his faith. Family remembers the man who died while paddleboarding on DeLong Lake last week. Plus, education funding restored just as the special session in Juneau got started. Majority members gathered enough members of the minority to cross the divide and vote in favor of an override of the governor's line item education veto.
And more glue.
And later, it's that time of year. Today, we kick off a week of back-to-school coverage, starting today with back-to-school shopping. It is in full swing just a couple weeks before the bells start ringing. We'll share some advice on saving for those essentials as the Morning Edition starts now. Good Monday morning, everyone. Yeah, it's that time of year again. Do you remember all that back-to-school shopping and all the excitement that came with before that first day of school?
I do, and for some reason, it's like the day before school, you get really excited. You put all your stuff in your backpack, and then school starts, and hard to believe that right around the corner.
Yeah, my favorite was the back-to-school shopping, like getting all of the school supplies and picking out my binders and folders.
Making your backpack look all nice and neat until like 2 weeks into the school year
it's
when
all
it's a mess.
stuffed up. Yeah.
Well, we are waking up this morning to the return to some of that summer weather with some sunshine in the forecast. We'll once again see temperatures this week likely topping out near 70, if not into the lower 70s. Now, we are waking up to some localized areas of fog this morning. You can kind of see that off in the distance out towards Sleeping Lady and some of those lower elevations. But we largely expecting clearer conditions today, but you will encounter some of those locations across South Central that could see some embedded areas of some fog. 52 degrees is where we're sitting at this morning, so a pleasant start to the day. Where you can see across the rest of South Central, while we are holding on to some cloud coverage through parts of the Matsu Valley as well as out towards Homer, the vast majority of the region is holding on to mostly sunny to partly clear skies or partly cloudy skies as we start off your Monday morning. 40 degrees in Golcana, 44 in Valdez. We've got 51 degrees in Palmer, and of course the warm spot is both Anchorage as well as Cordova at 52 degrees. So hopefully you've been enjoying the sunshine that we did see through the first part or the second part of the weekend. Of course, Saturday was a wet one. Yesterday was beautiful. And we're going to continue that stretch of pleasant weather. Now, to the north, we are seeing some thunderstorm activity that fired yesterday evening into the night. You can see those lightning strikes continue to impact areas of the interior. Really, as you head southwest of Fairbanks, this is where we're seeing that cluster of thunderstorms that's quickly moving off towards the southeast. That will kind of dissipate this morning, but we will watch additional thunderstorm development later today into the afternoon hours. As far as those temperatures, we are going to warm quite nicely today, topping out near 70 degrees throughout the afternoon hours. We'll see that here over the next couple of days, but there is some rain in the forecast later this week. So coming up, we'll be talking about a ridge that is remaining with us, keeping some warmer conditions in the forecast, and of course, thunderstorms through the interior. I'll have that in that 7-day forecast for you coming up.
Many school officials across Alaska breathing a sigh of relief this morning after lawmakers in Juneau restored about $51 million in education funding. Legislators got right to business as the special session started over the weekend, gathering enough members in a vote of 45-14 to override the governor's line item veto of that funding. 10 members of the minority voted in favor of the override. This news comes after the governor vetoed this funding from the budget after an already contentious battle between the legislature and his agenda. The Senate and House have both recessed until August 19th. In a prepared statement, the Anchorage School District said the bipartisan vote will make a, quote, real and immediate difference as it begins a new school year, going on to say the vote means more stability in classrooms, more certainty for families, and stronger support for educators working every day to help students succeed. 2 people are recovering following a fire at a ConocoPhillips facility in Alpine Friday. ConocoPhillips said 3 people were injured when a localized flash fire broke out at the Alpine Central facility around 2:30 p.m. Work stopped immediately in the area, and the injured people were taken to a local clinic before being flown to an Anchorage hospital. The company says as a last check, 1 person was released from the hospital while 2 others are being treated, but they're in stable condition. An investigation into what caused the fire is ongoing. A scary situation for some people dining at an East Anchorage restaurant Saturday night. The Anchorage Fire Department says a driver reportedly mistook their gas pedal for the brake and smashed through the window of Samurai Sushi on Muldoon. It happened around 6:15 p.m. AFD says 2 children were taken to the hospital for a more thorough exam, but the fire department says there were no life-threatening injuries. The restaurant closed Saturday night but reopened on Sunday. A heartbroken family thousands of miles away is remembering their loved one who died here in Alaska last week. 21-year-old Raul Timishug drowned in DeLong Lake while paddleboarding with friends. He was here in Alaska on a work and travel program. His family says he was known for his faith and kindness. His sister says the pain is indescribable and that he was the one who looked after everyone, even as the younger sibling. Raul attended Holy Transfiguration Greek Orthodox Church every week, adding she was a reason for his return to Alaska.
The main reason because why he came back there, it was because it was familiar, and he wanted to help me with the money. I'm passionate about pastry and sweets, and he wanted to help me open a pastry shop.
The family is waiting to be reunited with his body back in Romania. The U.S. Coast Guard says it's not uncommon to see foreign vessels off the coast of Alaska. This following a situation last month where the Coast Guard responded to a Chinese research vessel seen off the coast. The ship was seen inside the U.S. extended continental shelf around 300 miles north of Utqiagvik. This resulted in the U.S. Coast Guard putting Operation Frontier Sentinel in motion. The Coast Guard Arctic District Chief of Enforcement says it sent a Hercules fixed-wing aircraft to meet the vessel as per standard procedure.
The U.S. maintains sovereignty over the seabed and subsea resources on the extended continental shelf. So research that is on the extended continental shelf could be of concern if it pertains to the seabed or the subseabed. That's the concern.
Waters says the ship stayed in U.S. waters for another day or two. Senator Dan Sullivan is weighing in following an order from President Donald Trump to reposition 2 U.S. nuclear submarines. Trump posted on Truth Social that highly provocative statements were made by a former Russian president warranting the repositioning of the subs to appropriate regions. Senator Sullivan says waters near the coast of Alaska would be of strategic importance when it comes to Russia, saying Alaska is on the front lines. He also praised the president for his handling of the situation.
This is serious business, and I think what President Trump did was prudent and shows strength. Look, as President Trump said in his tweet, his statement, Medvedev's statement was highly provocative. I mean, he's literally talking about going to war with the United States. Russia, ever since they invaded Ukraine, Putin in particular has been saber-rattling all the time. And I think what President Trump did is saying, hey, I'm going to show strength. And that's what Russia understands, way more than rhetoric.
The AP reporting Friday's move by the president potentially escalates tensions between Washington and Moscow at a delicate time. Trump also mentioned sending a special envoy to Russia to push for a ceasefire in its war with Ukraine. Well, August marks National Emergency Management Awareness Month. Bailey Braun takes us inside the State Emergency Operations Center and shows us what they do there.
I'm Bailey Braun, and we're here at the State Emergency Operations Center. And joining us here today is Jeremy Zedek. So, Jeremy, what exactly is your role here?
I'm the Public Information Officer for the State of Alaska's Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Management.
And this month is Emergency Management Awareness Month. What exactly does that mean for us here in Alaska?
Well, we want to raise awareness about the field of emergency management and what emergency managers do here in the state. There's so many different aspects that we need to call upon when we're responding to disasters in a state as large as Alaska. And we really bring in different disciplines to address the different issues that we see during the very chaotic times after a disaster event.
And how far in advance do you start to plan for these kind of disasters?
Well, we're really continuously planning for disaster events. As soon as one ends, we do an after action and we try to find ways to get better and respond to those disasters in a more effective manner. So it's ongoing. And it happens at many levels. Our local emergency managers are doing drills and conducting tests of their systems. Then at the state level, we're looking at ways that we can support them at that local level and reaching up to our federal partners to see how we can support at that local level in the most efficient way.
And what do you think is the most important thing for Alaskans to know for Emergency Management Awareness Month?
Well, first, that we're going to have more disasters here in the state. Every individual and family can take steps to prepare for disasters, and very similar to the same steps that we take at a state and at a local level. Things like having emergency plans, having backup communication. And those really pay dividends when the disaster happens. So that's what they can do personally. They can also reach out to their local fire department, law enforcement, or emergency manager, find out about the risks and hazards in their community, how they prepare for them in their community, and find out ways to help. There's an awful lot of non-government agencies like the American Red Cross, Salvation Army, and others, faith-based organizations within communities that help the local officials when disasters occur. So they can come in, participate in those groups after they've taken care of themselves.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate your time. And that wraps us up here today. I'm Bailey Braun with Alaska's News Source.
When we come back, all aboard for some summer flavor. A new restaurant opens up, and this one paying homage to the industry of Alaskans. We'll take you to the new 49th State Brewing near the Alaska Railroad Depot next.
Beautiful stretch of weather set to grip areas of South Central through the first half of this week as we chase those 70-degree days. I'll have more on that as well as a 7-day forecast. First, the sunrise, 5:41 in Anchorage, 4:56 in Juneau. Your full forecast is next.
If you don't mind some rain, today will be a good day to visit a national park in honor of Great American Outdoors Day. The National Park Service will be waiving the entry fee to any of its parks. It's to commemorate the 5th anniversary of the Great American Outdoors Act. President Trump signed it into law in 2020. The Department of the Interior describes the legislation as the single largest investment in public lands in American history. It's helped support large-scale infrastructure projects and renovations to campgrounds in some of the nation's parks. Aaron, is today going to be a good day to get out or no?
Yeah, we're going to see a good portion of the state holding on to some pleasant weather. Now, into the interior, we are watching a shift from some sunnier weather to some thunderstorm development. We're already seeing that this morning. Of course, across South Central, we're favoring a lot more sunshine. We'll call it mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies through at least the middle of the week. And, of course, out towards southeast, while widespread rain doesn't look likely, we'll continue to add on to each day where we'll favor at least some passing showers in the forecast. As far as what we're dealing with this morning, you can see we've got those temperatures, 40s and 50s across the state. The cool spot with Utqiagvik at 38 degrees. We've got rain showers as you head north of the Brooks Range, some of that thunderstorm development through the interior. And then as you head out towards southeast, we are still holding on to at least some isolated to scattered showers, while an area of low pressure remains locked in place out towards the Aleutians. This will keep breezy conditions as well as some rain in the forecast. We are seeing some spotty showers out towards southwest Alaska. And, of course, one thing we're watching here over the next couple of days is a ridge that's in the Gulf of Alaska that's going to try to build northward. That will lead to some sunnier and warmer days through at least Wednesday, and then we'll begin to see the return to some rain and cloud coverage in the forecast. And with this uptick of some thunderstorm development through the interior, we will want to watch some of that fire activity here over the next couple of days. We're just sitting up under 1 million acres burned so far this season, and seeing one brand new fire over the last 24 hours with 9 of those active active fires currently being staffed. So with that thunderstorm development as well as some drier conditions for parts of the interior, we could see some additional thunderstorms sparking some wildfires. So we will be watching for that throughout this week. As far as the slope, you can see some of those passing showers stay with you throughout the day. We'll see additional thunderstorm development through the interior while rain stays out towards southwest Alaska as well as through the Aleutians. But largely on the dry side here across south central the next couple of days. We'll call it mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies through at least Wednesday. And then by Wednesday night into Thursday, we'll be seeing rain beginning to build into southern parts of Kodiak Island. That will eventually lead to some rain showers here across south central as we welcome in our Thursday evening and then carry us through the weekend. Not widespread rain for inland areas, but we will see that return to some of that heavier showers for parts of the coast. But that rain does ramp up through the second half of the week. So at least the first part of this week will be fairly dry. We did pick up 3/10 of an inch of rain Saturday, and then Sunday, of course, was on the sunnier and drier side. We're currently sitting up just under 4/10 of an inch of rain for the month of August, and of course, which is fairly typical for this time of year. We'll warm into the 60s, possibly 70 degrees today. We'll call it mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. Yes, some breezy conditions will grip parts of south central, but winds will likely stay less than about 25 miles per hour. 64 in Valdez, 73 degrees in Golcana. A bit more cloud coverage expected for the valley. Of course, we're waking up this morning to some overcast skies for Palmer as well as Wasilla, but you will see some sunshine breaks throughout the day, and those temperatures will warm near 70. 67 in Anchorage out towards Girdwood. Those winds up to 15 miles per hour. You can see we flirt with 70 through the next couple of days with some showers arriving by week's end. Overall, not a bad way to start off August.
All right, thanks, Aaron. 49 State Brewing opened a new fourth location here in Alaska. Joe Allgood was at the downtown Anchorage restaurant for the ribbon cutting Friday with some food and sparkling water in hand.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. You caught me in the middle of my pretzel nuggets here at the newest 49th State Brewing location. They're calling it 49th State at the Rail. 3! I'm about to try one of their all-new, unique to this restaurant sandwiches. They've got a whole list here, and they're all only here at this restaurant. So this one here is called the Sledgehammer, which is a very descriptive name. It's got prosciutto and pepperoni, fresh mozzarella, arugula, spicy Calabrian chili pepper spread, roasted garlic herb tomatoes with a balsamic glaze on a toasted pizza. You can see it here. It's a lot of stuff on one sandwich, so hopefully I'm able to get it all in one bite, but we'll see here. It's got some weight to it, so let's dig in. Of course, it's not just about the food, but the drinks as well, which come from right next door to the bar.
But this is where we do 99% of our stuff.
Brewery manager Jaime Jurado took us behind the scenes. You've been doing it so long. What do you love about the brewing process?
Well, it certainly is a calling. You don't go into brewing for the love of money or anything like that. You go for it because you're working with nature and biochemistry and still science and art together and making stuff that people love.
Yeah. And what could go better with one of those drinks than a good sandwich? Which reminds me, a little bit of a kick from that chili pepper crisp, which is great. I think, though, what really ties it all together is this delicious pizza wrap. It's sort of a thin flatbread, just pulls it all together. And one of the most important things about a sandwich is making sure it doesn't fall apart when you take a bite. So this one passes that test, but don't just take my word for it. Will you be, I mean, it's pretty safe to say then you'll probably come back, right?
Yes, I will come back. I mean, it's good food, and I bring a lot more my friends.
It's different than their other location, which is up the hill. This creates that, more family space as opposed to a large tourist environment.
If you don't mind me, I'm going to get back to my pretzels. Joe Allgood, Alaska's news source.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcasts from Alaska's news source automatically and stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.